Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog coming to you today with St. Paul Edwards III out of North Carolina. He has some really interesting companies under his belt. He has a family home, intensive home care service business. He also has an energy company, what we'll hear more about today. Again, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. This is the Slow and Low series on niche businesses, side hustles, side businesses, and how you can start one today and finding out more about entrepreneurship. How you doing today, Saint?
I'm doing awesome, Miss Erica. How are you today?
Great. It's been many years since I've seen you in person,
I
and
know it. I
I
know
think
it.
it's been years, but we won't date ourselves.
Let's don't. Let's not.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
So,
some years have
I'm gonna start.
passed.
Yeah, I'm gonna start it off with a simple question. Well, where did you grow up at, and how did it affect you?
All right. Well, just kind of give you a background on me. I am a good old country boy. I am born and raised in North Carolina, a small town called Snow Hill. It's in a county. Most people know where I'm from if I tell them the county I'm from. So I am from Greene County, a small town called Snow Hill. Actually, not so much Snow Hill, but we actually are defined by the roads that we stay on because we were in between the towns. So we were good old country, setting and good old country people, just good hardworking people. Um, we're from a place where everybody knows you, so you can't do anything wrong without somebody telling a family member what you did. So, the values that I grew up with really shaped me. The people that I grew up with, I'm from a place where your word is your bond. So, a handshake meant, just as good as, a contract signed. So, that's the kind of stock that I came up in. That's where I grew up at, and that's really has shaped me today. There's a lot of good, kind-hearted people. So in business these days, it's kind of hard to juggle being kind and being a shark. So you kind of have to play both roles. So, but I'm working on the shark part. I'm good with the kind. I'm still working on the shark part.
We can always use more kind people. We totally could. Um,
Absolutely.
well, what were some of the biggest challenges to getting started in your businesses? Because you've done quite a few different businesses.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you the biggest challenge really is finances, funding projects. A lot of people think that you could get projects or businesses started on shoestring budgets. Well, yay and nay, depending on what business you're going in, depending on what your niche market is, depending on how you market. But at the end of the day, you still have to have marketing materials. You still need to have an excellent business plan. You still need to have an excellent online presence. You still need to have um, just marketing materials to be able to present to people. So these things cost. Um, and because I knew that, one of my businesses, which you didn't mention, but which was just kind of interesting, which is the Edwards Group, which is a consulting company geared towards doing exactly what you're talking about, how to help people get started in a business, giving them the necessary tools that they need, giving them the necessary. Had an incoming call. It really depends on um, your resources. Most of the time, people aren't connected to the people that can actually get them from step A to Z. A lot of times, people are really just focusing on, what they need and not really focusing on the resources that they actually need. Um, so that's pretty much how that goes. But yeah, that's really what we do at the Edwards Group. We really kind of put people on a path to success. Hey, this is what you're gonna need. Let me hear your idea. Let me take your vision and put it and make it tangible. Let me take what you're trying to do and conceptualize it in a way that it actually works in real life. Um, and we just come up with good plans for them to actually do that, and we've had some success. We've gotten quite a few businesses started, small and large. We've done quite a few big business deals, small and large, and it's really been pretty good, pretty good. Really good feedback from our clients, and we're actually really excited. I'm thankful to have the resources at my disposal that I have because, to be honest with you, they're next to none. They only come by once in a lifetime, and I am so very thankful. I thank God every day for that, for Him opening up those doors for me to have those resources in my life.
Sorry, camera mess up.
Oh, that's no problem.
Can you hear me, Saint?
I sure can.
A little bit of knock at the door.
Oh, that's okay. Look, we got interruptions all over the place. I got a
I
phone
know.
call
I'm
coming
really
through.
sorry. Um,
No, I apologize.
I was gonna say that you kind of answered the "What would others say about your company?" question.
Okay.
Um, I was gonna say, how do others get started in a business similar to yours? Because you have several, so you can
Right.
explain those.
Well, I kind of give you a short story of how we actually got started. Family intensive home care came about around 2008. The idea of it is a mental health company, behavioral health company, um, and I was thankful to have some people, some mentors. And that's another thing too. You need mentors, people who are actually in business that you're doing
Yeah.
or aspiring to doing, to kind of give you step by step insight on red flags, what to do, what not to do, kind of thing. So that way you can kind of avoid some of the pitfalls and you can take that learning curve a little bit quicker. Most of the time, people feel like they can jump into something and they'll know it right off the gate, but there is always a learning curve to everything that you do. So with that being said, we kind of got started on that. It was actually a tragic event. My family's house was destroyed by a tornado, February of 2008, um, with my mother, father, and sister and two dogs in the house. Um,
Two dogs.
yes, and two dogs. Fortunately, I was actually supposed to be there that night, but I opted to go back to Greensboro, where I was actually residing and going to school at A&T, and I opted to go back that night. So I got the call about 3 o'clock, that my parents' house had been torn down. So it was a very tragic event. I'm thankful that they're still alive. I should be orphaned today, but I thank God He spared them. Um, but in spite of that, and because of that, my parents made a decision which showed a lot of trust in me. We talked about starting our own business or rebuilding a house. That was the two options. Do we start our own business with the funds that we have available from insurance, or do we rebuild your house? Well, my parents chose the latter, and they said, "Son, we trust you. You got good mentorship. We trust Miss Demetrius. Um, so we're going to give you the funds to start your own business, and it'll be the
Wow,
family
that's
business."
like serious
Yes.
level of trust there.
Hey, it was a $35,000 investment, serious level of trust. Absolutely. And it kind of went from there. It was a struggle. Don't get me wrong. I was thinking, hey, out the gate, we're rocking and rolling. We got the funds to pay payroll and get everything set up and office space and equipment. And yet we still hadn't produced any clientele. So we were running on our own home empty very, very quickly. $30,000 don't get you too far in business. I'm letting you know right now. Especially it depends on what business you're doing, but your budget must be comparable to be able to cover you for at least 6 months so that you can build your business. So that's kind of how that end got started, and from there, other ideas just kind of flourished and blossomed out of family intensive home care because I'm big on diversifying. There were some things that were going on in North Carolina concerning Medicaid, concerning healthcare field, especially there were some major changes going on in the behavioral health, mental health side. So we kind of had to hedge against the worst case scenario and kind of put ourselves in position to be able to capitalize on some other things that were starting to kind of grow. So that's where the Edwards Group kind of started because, to be honest with you, Edwards Group is our platform for multi-level marketing. We tried it. We were very successful. We tried it. Five Links was actually the company. We also kind of endeavored in organo gold a little bit. Needless to say, my background got me in contact with resources who were very, very high up in all of those companies. My upline was actually Platinum Senior Vice President Barry Johnson of Five Links. And also in Organic Gold, we had the senior vice president, um, Chris, forget his last name, but he was up there. He was up there.
Yeah, up there.
So, but again, mentorship. We were very successful very quickly in all of those businesses, but I come to realize very quickly in multi-level marketing, it's tough to be as successful as you will want to be because most of the time it's tough to really recruit business-minded people instead of people who are just looking for an extra way out or an extra paycheck. Because really, in building a business, you have to have a totally different mindset. So that was some of the things that we kind of went up against. But as far as getting started, the funding is definitely the biggest piece. Making sure you have good mentorship, good backing, and make sure you do your due diligence, do your research, know a little bit about the business that you're looking at getting in, that kind of thing, and just really make sure you make good strides in making progress every day, learning something new every day, and not only just learning it, but applying it.
That's great stuff. I mean, is that how you kind of got towards the solar farm by chance, or is it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that is. Our only and sole purpose for even touching Five Links was for the energy piece alone. I only wanted to dabble in the energy. I only signed up because I was waiting on North Carolina to deregulate, which it still hasn't done. And a matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. My lobbyist, Mr. Chris Petrella, is actually the person that lobbied for Duke Energy to actually hold off that period for North Carolina's deregulation. How awesome is that?
That's great connections right there. I
Great
mean,
connections, great connections. And I'm just so thankful because it came through other doors that were open through resources that I was blessed to be in contact with. So, but that's where Edwards Energy came from. We're really endeavoring in the clean energy. So solar, wind, of course, we're even looking into, if you look at our business plan online, you'll see that we're looking at three sectors. Solar energy, we're also looking at wind energy as well as CNG, which is natural gas. So those are our three sectors, and we're actually working on right now a big deal with the city, trying to set up that meeting now with the city of Goldsboro to actually have Edwards Energy be their sole consultant for any alternative energy setups or builds that they're trying to do within the county of Wayne. So keep your fingers crossed, keep us in prayers about that because
fingers crossed.
that's very very major, very major. That's a good stepping stone. This is 2 years in the making, and like I said, it's been a slow crawl, but progress is all that we've been looking at doing, making progress. And every day, even on slow days, there was some progress being made. So now all the preparation has led to this meeting. So we have everything that we need. Our online presence is there. We have an awesome, awesome business plan, business synopsis. We have everything that we would need. Trifold brochures, folder kits, everything that we need to go into a meeting and present Edwards Energy in the most professional way. That at the end of that meeting, who we're speaking with can come to their own conclusion about Edwards Energy is the best option for them to work with. That's what we're looking to do. And but yeah, Edwards Energy is huge. It's huge. There's so much that is going to branch off from Edwards Energy. We're actually looking at right now at writing legislation to make Edwards Energy the sole company to be able to convert SRECs to a hybrid REC, regardless of what that may be. Probably more than likely it'll be a vehicular REC. So like for your energy cars, like the electric cars. There's been some talks that if we can get that done, there's some really big contract deals on the table from people like Toyota, BMW, to name a few. So those are just some of the steps that we're looking at trying to make it to, and one day we'll hopefully be able to build our own solar farms, and that's the main goal. So we're kind of stair-stepping it a little bit. We kind of got to work backwards into that because building a solar farm at the magnitude we want, is going to be about anywhere between $9 to $12 million. Even with government concessions, even with government loans and subsidies, it's still going to be very, very expensive, anywhere from the tune of $750,000 to about $1.5 million. So that's what we're looking at right now. So it's pretty big business, but it took years to get to this point. So I just want people to understand, like, hey, he just didn't come up with an idea, and the next week or the next month, hey, it just happened. No, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, a lot of research, a lot of due diligence, and to be honest with you, a lot of praying, because at the end of the day, you need direction, good sound direction before you venture into anything that you do. So none of these ideas were just ideas that I came up with and just kind of got started. They were all ideas that kind of came to me and through prayer, and I just allowed God to just kind of build upon the vision that He gave me, and I was just being diligent and taking that vision and really working it, and praying along the way to get guidance of who I need to talk to, who I need to be connected with. That kind of thing. And He's really opened those doors, because a lot of these people kind of came out the woodworks, to be honest with you, and we're excited about an idea. So that's pretty much how all of those businesses came about. It really came about from the funding of one company, which was Family Intensive Home Care, from a tragedy, and it kind of grew into three. So
That's good stuff. Do you invest in real estate, or is that going to be part of your future in the future by chance?
yeah, because the Edwards Group is actually an economic development, and it's actually going to work hand in hand with Edwards Energy. Economic development meaning we will be building, buying real estate, preferably older buildings, renovating them, making them accessible for the city to either rent or lease out for other businesses. But the Edwards Energy piece is actually going to be looking at trying to make a deal with the city to upfit all of the tops of the buildings downtown with solar panels. You're looking at about 4 to 5 acres of flat top buildings downtown that can be utilized. And which you're looking at 4 to 5 acres, not a lot of power, but it will sustain all of downtown and be able to really, really bring them off the grid as far as, their energy consumption. So, but that's pretty much how that came about as far as that's concerned.
That's great stuff. How do you see yourself and your companies kind of growing the next 2 years? I know deregulation is not over, which is frustrating, but that's part of your hope is like, let's get that wrapped up.
Yeah, that's part of the hope. There's a lot of other things on the table, so that's another thing too. Don't get so wrapped up in one deal, one thing on the table, because at the end of the day, God brought that deal to the table, just like with other doors and opportunities. If one door remains open, that's great, walk through it. But if any shut, just wait for the next one to open up. So we are anxious, but trying not to be anxious about this upcoming deal. But there are a few more lined up. So we'll just be diligent in the ones that we have, and we'll go at those in the best possible strategic way possible. And we'll just let them make the decision. But we're hoping for the best. But we'll keep going from there. And at the end of the day, if that doesn't work, hey, there's still more doors to be knocked on.
That's great stuff. You're getting all kind of nuggets out here. I'm like, got tweetables all day.
Tweet it.
So I was gonna say, if someone came to you and they said, "Listen, Saint, I just left East Carolina, or I left NC State, or whatever. Maybe they finished their degree, and they're like, I'm looking to make a change in my life today." What would you do to kind of coach them, guide them? What would be some pointers you'd go, here's how you start today with your life?
All right. Well, that's simple and complex at the same time. First of all, my first advice is really take the time to find out who you are in your purpose, why you are even here. Because I'm going to tell you, if you don't know those two basic things, you will chase dreams for the rest of your life and nothing will ever be obtained. Because most of the time we chase our desires and never really look inwardly to say, hey, God, what is it that you would have for me to do? All right, so once you actually get that part and you are aligned that way, then you can start looking at, okay, well, I have this idea. Okay, now we can start to kind of, put that idea and make that idea from and manifest it from just the physical realm or the spiritual realm or a thought process to actually it being tangible. And then just going about those, the proper steps. Do you register your company? First of all, coming up with a company name, whatever that may be. Were you going to register it as a sole proprietor? Are you going to register it as an LLC? Are you going to register it as a C corp or S corp? That type of thing. Is it a private practice? Is it something that you have a license in? So we have to start asking those preliminary questions to kind of find out what are the next steps. But the first steps is definitely, coming up with a company name to kind of match your idea that will kind of fit in the niche that would be marketable for what you're trying to do. Once that's taken care of, then you start looking at the formality stuff. Your filings with the state. How do you set up? Who's going to be your CPA? Who's going to do your books? Are you going to use a book system such as QuickBooks? Are you going to use a CPA? Those are the kind of things that you want to kind of make sure that you come off with at the beginning. How much money do you have to put towards or invest in your company? Do you have investors? If not, we have some. In my research, I had to find investors. So there's a lot of places where you can go to get funding, but at the end of the day, there's still another long process. That you have to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row to even be eligible to even be put in the runnings for those funds. So, is your company registered with SAM? So that you never know, depending on what your niche is, you may be looking to get governmental contracts. And the only way you're going to do that if you're not a 501c is if you're registered with SAM. So those are some things that, you really have to start looking at, just preliminaries. Ground floor type stuff, foundation, really set that foundation and make sure that your business plan is together, your marketing materials is together. You have an awesome logo, you have awesome business cards, you have an awesome website or WordPress blog. I tell people all the time, if you want to save money, use WordPress. I promise you. You can set it up the same way, and it's actually a lot easier to get ranked than an actual website.
Yeah.
Do you know any SEO people? I'm fortunate enough to be friends with an SEO expert. So when it comes to ranking sites and ranking videos for advertisements, those are some of the things that you need to know. That's part of the marketing. So really just make sure you map out and plan out how you're going to market, who you're going to target, how are you going to reach them, how are you going to connect with them, how are you going to draw them to what you're doing? What makes you different than anybody else? Work ethic, making sure that you're always diligent. If you do what you say and say what you mean. Always over deliver and under promise. So, tell them, if it's something that's going to take a week, tell them it may take 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But at the end of the day, deliver it in that week so that you have now over-delivered instead of over-promising. And, those are some of the things that you really want to focus on and making sure that you set as a basis of your foundation. Because without that foundation being solid, no matter how high you build, it will fall, it will crumble, and you'll be like Humpty Dumpty picking up the pieces all over again, trying to figure out what to do next. So always make sure the foundation is solid. Make sure that everything that you got in order. Make sure all your planning is in order. So from, like I said, your idea, conceptualizing it, making it tangible, marketing materials, your business plans, that kind of thing. Really make sure that those things are in order. Your business processes, how you operate and do every single thing. You want to already have those things mapped out before you even do a single day's worth of business with anybody, so that
Yes.
you can always be ahead of the game and always seem very professional, and that you know what you're talking about, and they came to the right person to get done what they need to get done.
For sure. I mean, that's great stuff. I mean, that's like a whole nother segment we can do, but that. But We'll save that for another day.
Absolutely.
Because I'm pretty sure I'll interview you again when North Carolina gets deregulated. Let's cross our fingers on that
Oh
one.
man, let's cross our
Um,
fingers. Even without
what
it being deregulated, we're still trying to
well,
knock down the door.
what is some places they can reach you at? Websites and Facebook. Go ahead and list them out for us.
All right. Well, of course, you can always follow or find me on Facebook. That's probably the very first platform, social media that I had ever used outside of MySpace. Okay. But St. Paul Edwards III, just search St. Paul Edwards III. Make sure you spell Saint all the way out, Saint. And that'll pull me up. I don't know if there's any more St. Paul, so other than St. Paul, you might find some others, but St. Paul Edwards III is only one. You can also find me on Twitter, St. Paul 3, at St. Paul 3, and also Instagram. I do a lot of Instagram, and it's all the same. Make sure your branding is all synonymous. So my Instagram is the same as well, St. Paul 3. You can also check out fihcare.com to kind of take a look at what Family Intensive Home Care has been doing. We haven't done a lot of updates as far as blogging wise, but there has been a lot of things going on. Same thing with the Edwards Group. You can go to the edwardsgrp.com, and that will bring you to the Edwards Group site. And you can also look up edwards-energy.com. So it's edwards-energy.com. You can also get a chance to take a look at everything that we do. Make sure you browse it. Make sure you take a look at the clickable downloads. There may be some business synopsis, some I think we've got most of our business synopsises and business plans up there. Edwards Group, if you need some help with any of that, always check out the Edwards Group. We're always looking to help at any way we possibly can. We offer all your services that you will possibly need to get your business started from A to Z. It all depends on what your budget's looking like, and we can be flexible, but most of the time, it's pretty set. We've gotten it to as low as we can possibly get it. But inquire, and we'll be more than happy to assist in any way. Whether it be you need branding or you need SEO, we can do it all. You need consulting or lobbying, we can do that too. If you need legislation and RFPs, RFQs, RFIs, we do that as well. So we try to cover a wide variety and gamut of everything that somebody will possibly need to be successful in their business. But definitely, those are pretty much my platforms that you can reach me at. I look forward, man. Look, if you have any other questions about anything, call me up, hit me up, reach out to me. Oh, and my email address is saint.paul.edwards@gmail.com. That's my personal one. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to reach back out and kind of get your questions answered. If I can't answer it, believe me, I have some other experts, whether it be legal, CPA, lobbyists, you name it, we can get your question answered, I promise. So that's pretty much how you can get in contact with me and go check out what we're doing and what we have going on.
All right. Thank you so much today, Saint. Thank you for carving time out of your busy schedule. I know North Carolina's weather is a little crazy.
I know it. It's 70 degrees right now. Are you serious?
It's crazy. I mean, Texas is crazy. North Carolina's crazy right now. But thank you for your time. We'll definitely do this again soon.
Yes.
Have a great day.
You too, Miss Erica. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
God bless you.